Hello, good morning once again to each and everyone. So, how are you all, my dear students? Okay, so I guess everybody is enjoying their vacations, right? And with the same time, I know that everybody is watching the videos, and still, if you have not watched your previous videos of this particular chapter, then please go and watch the previous videos and do your regular studies. Okay, so as you all know, students, that already we have started with chapter number 2, and half of the chapter we have completed. Last few topics are left, but those few topics are quite very important topics, right? Okay, and now yesterday we have started the new topic of this chapter, that is techniques of scientific management. Okay, in that the first point we have already discussed, that what do you mean by functional foremanship. Okay, and who all are the 8 specialists, the 8 bosses, the 8 supervisors who are involved in this particular functional foremanship, and what all are their functions, and all those things we have discussed individually also. Like there are 2 departments, planning department and production department, we have discussed that also. And we have discussed about the in each department what all supervisors are included, we have discussed about that also. Okay, so now today we're going to start with our next technique, and I have told that in this video I will going to complete the whole technique part. Okay, chali, without wasting much time, let's start with our next technique of scientific management, that is standardization and simplification of work. Now see, students, basically what happens, that whenever we are doing any work or any activity, so before doing it, we always used to set a standard. Okay, we always used to set a standard, that what kind of activity we need to do. Okay, and as per that standard, we are performing our task. Am I right? So first what we are doing is, first we are setting our standards. Okay, but those standards should be such which is easily achievable. Okay, which is easy to achieve, which is authentic, which can increase the profit level of the organization, which can increase the productivity, which can increase the standard of living of the employees, which can build the cordial relationship between the employer and the employee. Okay, so your standardization, your standard should be such. Now, your standard should not be only on the basis of the quality. Okay, it should also be on the basis of the size, on the basis of the type, on the basis of the weight. Okay, that what kind of weight we want, what kind of type we want of a particular product, of a particular activity. So all these things we need to see in advance, and then we have to implement it in a future life. Okay, students, now to study all these particular standards, to set all these particular standards, we need to do the work study. Now, what do you mean by work study? Work study very soon we're going to understand in this video only. Work study includes some such studies like fatigue study, time study, method study, motion study. All these studies we will going to study in this particular video only. So, whenever we are setting up the target, or whenever we are setting up the standard, so while setting up the standard, we need to look after the work study analysis, and then we have to set the standard. Okay, student? Now the next point is simplification. Simplification means to simplify something. It means that we need to eliminate all the unnecessary activities which are being done in the organization. Like for example, what we used to do it, like if we are in a need of, or if in a market the demand of product A is in a huge demand. Okay, product A is in a huge demand, but with product A you are also producing product B, C, D, which are not at all in demand, but still you are producing it. Still you are wasting your time, still you are wasting your energy, your resources, your money. Getting my point? So why to do that? If you know that what is in the demand, what people wants, from which particular activity your profit level can be increased, okay, so you should concentrate only on that particular activity. You should eliminate all the unnecessary activities which are being carried down in the organization. That is known as simplification. Okay, students? I hope that I have made you clear with the word standardization and simplification, right? Chaliye. Let's move on with our next topic, that is method study. Now, as I have told before, that this is a part of the work study analysis, right? Now, what we are doing in method study means finding out the best way to perform a particular task. Finding out the best way to perform a particular task means you should not waste your time unnecessarily in unproductive means. Okay, you should find the best means, you should find the best way through which you can achieve your target. That is known as method study. The steps, the sequence, the series which has to be followed in order to achieve your target. Okay, this is known as method study. Fine. Next one is motion study. Motion study means to study the movement. The word motion means movement. Okay. Now sometimes what happens is many of the employees in many of the organization, it happens that employees move here and there in search of any of the raw materials or any equipments or any machineries or something like that. Means in spite of putting their 100% concentration on the work that what is being allotted to them, they are wasting their time and their energy in doing unproductive work, which is of no use. Getting my point? So what does the motion study means? That we need to judge, we need to find that what all are the unproductive movements in the organization, and we should eliminate those unnecessary movements, unproductive movement, so that the time should be wasted less, and we can contribute more and more time in performing a particular task. Okay, students? Okay. Chaliye. Now, let's move on with our next study, that is time study. Now, this is very, very important study. Why? Because, see, whenever we are commencing any activity, whenever we are doing any activity, it is very important that we should do it within the stipulated time period. Okay, within the standard time which is being given to us. Okay, now before imagining the time, first and foremost, we should have a stopwatch. We should survey that by having various experiences, okay, by doing various experiences of same work. Means we should decide the work, okay, and then we should ask 4 different persons to perform that same task, and then we should see that that particular task is completed within how much time period. Okay, so first, before assigning the time or before deciding the time to for a particular activity to be done, we should assign the time with the help of a experiment, and that experiment can be done with the help of a stopwatch. Okay, now the main logic of this time is that we should estimate the requirement of the labor. Like in case we are having such work which is not to be completed by only 2 labors. We are having only 2 labors, okay, and the work is more. And within the stipulated time that what we have decided, like for 4 hours, it is not possible to complete that particular task within 4 hours by the 2 labors. So of course we need more labor. So how we have decided? By the basis of time. Okay, then we can decide about the incentives, we can decide about the labor cost. So all these things we can decide, but we can decide it only if we will going to have an experiment. Okay, so before deciding it, before having a standard time to perform a well-defined job, we should have an observation by experiencing lots and lots of people doing the same task, and then we should decide the standard time. Okay, student? Okay. Chaliye. Now the next one is fatigue study. See, fatigue study means, see, it's but obvious that if any particular person is being asked to work 10 hours rigorously, continuously, without taking a single minute of gap. Getting my point? Means that particular person is working 10 hours continuously without taking a single minute of gap. So will it be possible that the very next day he will be working with the same efficiency that what he was working previous day? No. Am I right? Because his efficiency has dropped down. And why it has occurred? Because you have not given the requisite time of rest interval, which is very, very important. Okay? So as per the employee's behavior, as per the working capacity of a particular employee, we should decide that how much rest interval we should provide to a particular employee. That after how much time the particular employee's efficiency drop down, and then he wants some time to do the rest, and then again he gain the energy. So all these things can be known only by doing the experiments, only by observing the particular persons doing their task practically. Okay, now why we are doing this study, why we are doing this fatigue study? The only motive of doing this fatigue study is to increase the productivity of the workers. Why? Because it is not possible to ask any particular employee or any particular worker to work rigorously for long and long hours without taking a gap of even a single minute. It's not possible. So that's why, to maintain the productivity of the organization, of the worker, we are giving them rest intervals. Okay, students? Chaliye. Now we are at the last point of this particular topic, that is differential piece rate system. Now see, what do you mean by this point? Whenever we are giving the wages to the particular worker, we are giving them on the basis of the work done, not on the basis of the time spent on a particular work. Okay, like for example, if person A is there and person B is there, okay, both the persons I have given the same task to perform. Clear? I have given person A also 5 hours to complete the task and person B also 5 hours to complete the task. Okay, now the completion of task was 20 quintals of wheat. For example, I have just taken an example. Okay? Making that 20 quintals of wheat within 5 hours. Okay, that was the task. Clear? Now what happened? Person A has completed the task. Person A has completed the particular task of making 20 quintals of wheat within 6 hours, for example. But he has completed. Okay? And person B has not completed the task. He has made only 15 quintals of wheat and then to taking 5 hours of time. So to whom I will going to count as an efficient worker? Person A or person B? Person A. Am I right? Why? Because I will going to count the work done by a particular person, not the time spent. Okay? As long hours you are spending but you are doing nothing, it's of no use. We need the productivity, we need the product, we need the output. And from where we can get the output? From the work done, from the work which is done by a particular worker. Okay? So, efficient worker will going to be paid more wage. Inefficient worker will going to be paid less wage. So, the payment of a wage will going to be dependent upon the work done by a particular worker. Okay? And this is actually done to motivate the employees, so that the person who has been done or who has been given more wage or who has been counted as an efficient worker, he will going to work more harder next time. Why? Because he was being counted as an efficient worker. And the person who was counted as an inefficient worker, he will going to improve his mistakes and he will also going to come in the line of efficient. Okay? So this was the explanation of the differential piece rate system. Okay, students, I hope that I have made you all clear with this particular topic, right? So students, this was all for today's session, and in the next session we will going to start with this fails principles of management. Okay, so be ready. In our next video we're going to start with this fails principles of management, but I request you all to please go and watch all the videos that has already been uploaded on the YouTube. Okay, so that you could have a continuous flow of study. Okay, students, so by the time, take care of yourself, study well, and be safe. Bye bye.